Disclaimer, I don't know shit. In the past few years, there's been more mainstream chatter about the Warhammer franchise. I recognize it, but I don't know shit about it. There's one time my friend tried to explain it to me and he's all like, well, the Ultramarines are highly disciplined and courageous warriors. They have remained true to the teachings of Primarch Roboute Gilliman for 10,000 years. The Ultramarines were originally the 13th Space Marine Legion before the reform that initiated the Second Founding and reshaped the Emporium after the heresy in the Time Rebirth on the orders of Gilliman himself as the Lord Commander of the Imperium and Imperial Regent. Huh? Honestly, I don't even know what the hell I just said. To do that bit, I just read the first thing that popped up on Wikipedia.
Wikipedia? You're using Wikipedia as your source of information?
All I can contribute to the Warhammer conversation is, oh yeah, there's a game for the PS3 and 360, huh? Oh yeah, you played it? No. But today I want to change that. Am I going to go full figure painter? Probably not. But I am going to play the game with the chainsaw sword. So let's take a look at Warhammer 40k Space Marine. Remember the disclaimer. I don't know shit. So if I mispronounce or say something wrong, please feel free to politely correct me in the comments. Thank you. Warhammer 40k Space Marine is a third-person hack-and-slash shooter released in 2011. You play as Captain Titus, who is followed by two more Space Marines, Sergeant Sidonis and Tactical Marine Leandros. Hell yeah, first take. The Ultramarines are a group of... The Ultramarines are a group of genetically engineered, cybernetically, and biologically enhanced super soldiers referred to in-universe as Space Marines or Adeptus Astartes. And yes, I did read that off of Wikipedia. In this game, we are on Forge World Greya, which is being invaded by the orcs. So we lend the hand. After some orc killing, we come across an Inquisitor named Drogon, who looks totally like a stand-up guy and not shady at all. So yeah, he backstabs us. So this Fifth Element Zorg cosplaying motherfucker here summoned this big bad named Lord Nemeroth. This guy looks like X-Men's Apocalypse in World of Warcraft armor. He wants to ascend into daemonhood, and just to be a bad motherfucker, I guess. I don't know. But it looks, sounds, and smells like a bad idea, so we have to stop him. What I do know is this dude was scary. He's very menacing, and he definitely felt like this was the main bad guy. So at the point where he pops up, which is about halfway, he also unleashes Chaos Demons, who are these big red demon dudes with xenomorph looking heads and horns and swords. Yeah, they're pretty badass, I know. So these fools get added to the mix and it's just an all-out war. So you're killing orcs and demons, and even at this point they start possessing the military, so you have to fight them as well. And you do so by seamlessly switching from third-person shooter to a hack and slash. Both these elements work great together. When you're hacking and slashing, it feels like a hack and slasher game from that era. Then you start aiming the guns, it just straight up feels like a third-person shooter. You have your basic attacks and a stun attack. There's a short combo list, and you can stun enemies, and while they're stunned, grab them for a cool kill animation. And this is how you regain health, which is a fun mechanic, but that is just like one of the only ways you can recover health, so it is a little bit annoying. You have a shield that regenerates, but when that's done, then your health starts going down. What's even more annoying is that while you're in the animation, you can get hit. So even if you have like a putazo left of HP and you start the animation to get the health, you can die in the middle of it, and well, that just really sucks. And it's not just that. Remember I said you have to stun them, so to even get there to where you can even regain health, there are some steps to take to even get to do that. You can't just walk up and do it, which can be tough because there are just a lot of situations with hordes of enemies coming at you, so you really can't just run away. You kind of have to get good a little bit. Yeah, you have a dodge roll that works okay, but a health box next to the ammo or something to regenerate a little bit of health was definitely missing, because after taking down a horde, you basically go straight into another horde with low health sometimes, and it's like you don't really have a chance. But it's not really a big deal. You just die and come back with full HP. The only other way you can get some health is by using the Fury, which is your basic meter that fills up, and then you use it and you're super pissed. You get some health and you're stronger and deal more damage. You're pretty standard rage bar, but it also works for the shooting as well. You slow down the time and bullets deal more damage, and in combat enemies go down quicker and get stunned faster. So as excited as I was for using that chainsaw sword, that was actually my least favorite weapon. They had this power axe, which I liked a little bit more. I feel like it had a little bit more range. But my favorite was the Thunder Hammer, aka Thor's Hammer, as I like to call it. I know that's not right, but come on, Thunder Hammer? But because this hammer is simply just so badass and it's a bigger chungus, it takes two bigger guns away. Because it offers more damage and it feels a little bit more premium than the other weapons, is definitely more powerful, so you're only left with your main pistol and a bolter. And the shooting reminded me of Gears of War a bit. I don't know if it's because the Marines are big old thick dudes or what, but the switching of the guns feels similar, shooting just feels similar, like how the camera moves in when you're aiming. There's definitely some Gears of War DNA here. I think I would describe the shooting gameplay for Space Marines as Gears of War if you couldn't get into cover. No, it doesn't have the sprint, and it doesn't have, its very innovative reload mechanic, but there is something there. I also did find myself wanting to cover, but you really can't, so you just find yourself hiding behind things awkwardly. It turns out that in the development team, there were people who actually did work on Gears of War, God of War, and Far Cry. Like I said, I did see and feel some Gears of War and even God of War traits, but not so much Far Cry, but that's okay. I was surprised that Titus doesn't feel big and clunky. He feels powerful. There's a little bit of a lock on just to kind of assist you while shooting, and bigger enemies can be sponges a bit, but it makes sense because they're just big armored dudes or bigger shielded demon guys. I really love this pop of blood mist to let you know that they're dead. It's a nice detail and kind of satisfying. It's a really cool cue. There is a nice healthy options of guns. So you have one bolter, which is always with you and has unlimited ammo. Then you have other bolters. Some have charged plasmas, other machine gun types. Those are like your smaller pistols. Then you have the heavier ones where you have two different snipers, one plasma one with less ammo but deals more damage, and the other one is kind of like a regular sniper. There's a plasma gun that you can charge shots for. There's a shotgun as well. The storm bolter is like a rapid fire machine gun. That one's pretty cool. And a sticky bomb launcher that you detonate the bombs. You also have grenades you can toss that are just pretty standard. All these guns are really good. There really isn't a stinker in the bunch. I really like the sniper. It just takes a little bit more than one shot to kill like the bigger guys, which isn't necessarily satisfying with a sniper, but taking down the normies with it really is. What I also find to be pretty cool was that the first weapon that I got didn't feel like it needed to be upgraded, like they feel fine. But then you come across these container thingies, I guess. I'm sure there's a name for it. And they either give you like a new gun or they upgrade the ones you have, making them a little bit more powerful and deal more damage. Or sometimes they even upgrade your Fury so you can deal more damage in the Fury or make it last longer while you're in the marksman mode. Or have the Fury fill up quicker. And sometimes they would give you this jump pack. And you use it to hover around the level to reach higher ground. You can also do some ground and pound with it and stun a bunch of fools at once. It did take me a second to kind of get used to it because it just feels super fast. So at first it's a little bit tough to know exactly where you're going, but you catch on pretty quickly. Some chapters have just hordes of these green skins. Is that racist? I don't know. Is that okay? I apologize. Sorry. Is it? I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm saying. Whatever. Green skins, chinga su madre. They're bigger enemies. I guess you can consider these kind of little boss fights, but there's also just regular bigger dudes who are equipped with way more armor or more badass weapons who need to be stunned with combos to actually take them out. There are also melee enemies, dudes with guns, snipers. You get grenades thrown at you. The RPG guys were really annoying because you're in the middle of whooping a bunch of ass and then the missile just rains upon you and you're dead. But all in all, the combat works really well to have fun. I found it more fun to shoot, but the attacking side of the combat is still really good. I know I've been half joking about me not knowing, but that didn't really impede me from enjoying the game in any way. I knew what was going on in the game. I just did not know the lore behind every single word that was being said. And it definitely feels like it's very rich in the lore, especially with dialogue like this.
Captain, this is Sergeant Midas. Squad Solidus is on the ground and making for our objective.
New orders, Midas. We are at Manufactorum Ajakis and have located the Titan Invictus. I need Solinus to come secure the Invictus while I divert to a priority alarm.
Huh? I just know there's an entire wiki entry explaining each of these big words. But I wasn't too lost. I figured Invictus is this big old mech and we need it to kill bad guys, so go get the big old mech. You also collect these floating skulls which look super badass, but these contain audio logs which I'm sure also touch upon some lore or make some sort of references that I just simply do not know. The game is really straightforward, it's super linear, but even with the jump pack, it's not like you explore around. They just give it to you so you can keep going straight but just up. There are really no puzzles or anything like that. It's really just go straight and kill fools, then go straight again and kill more fools, and then there might be a cinematic break in between, which I thought looked pretty good and hold up really well still. But then we go back to killing fools. The game does their best in changing the environments, but it's really just like a different shade of the same color the whole time. There isn't like a drastic change in scenery, I didn't feel like, but that's okay, I don't need it to be. It's a war, I understood that. So the go forward and kill everything just made sense in this world. And the music ties everything together very nicely. It's very epic. I liked it. It fits. I did feel like the Marines themselves to be a bit bland. Like I mentioned before, there are 2 dudes with you, but they all felt pretty just generic. Not a whole lot of flavor to them. Yeah, they might be scarred up or might look cool, but they just felt a bit stale personality-wise. I noted this before I knew that Mark Strong voiced Titus, who's great. He's cool. Nothing against the actors, but just the Marines themselves aren't super expressive. Again, I don't know. This might be part of how they are because they're kind of experiments. No, I don't know. But they just really felt like they were about their business.
The Orcs have got that gun well defended, no mistake. But typical Orc behavior would be to dismantle or destroy the gun.
And certainly not use it to keep our forces at bay. There's a strategy behind it.
I really like that the other Marines don't go down, so you don't have to go over there and waste time picking them up. They're never in the way, and they help out a little. They don't take over either. Some games that have companions might be doing too much to the point where you don't even have to fight a whole lot because it killed everybody already. But nah, these guys were perfect. Like, I forgot they were there sometimes, but they also jumped in when I needed them to be. So I felt like these 2 were like the perfect companions. I can see people having an issue with the final boss fight because it was just literally button mashing. You take a bunch of waves of enemies before that, but there really isn't like a one-on-one fight versus Apocalypse guy. And I kind of see what they were going for with the button mashing to try to add maybe something a little bit different, some pizzazz, but it fell short. It just doesn't feel like that was the final boss fight. I thought we were going to land somewhere and then a battle between me and him was going to happen, but you just don't. It finishes. Warhammer 40k Space Marines is a game very much of the time, but the combat switching so fluidly is what separates itself from the rest. Having both elements work very well with each other is what I commend this game for. Many try and usually get one right, or most of the times neither of them, and for this game to do both of them very well is something I applaud. This game didn't turn me into a diehard Warhammer fan. I won't be purchasing figures and painting them. I wasn't expecting it to, but I did enjoy my time with it. It's a fun, bloody good time, and I'm more excited to check out these upcoming projects. But of course, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and feel free to educate me about this franchise and on anything else I missed. Thank you guys for watching, and remember to always and forever, you do you.